It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I'll be very brief. The presentation is very short. I'd like to thank Basil Corrados, my partner in New York, and so that the topic of my today's message to you is the public financing, which is available for the ship owners at the, in our case, at Toronto Exchange. Navigator acquisition was formed in 2018. We went public at the exchange in late September 2018. We are a group of professionals with significant track record in the public space. And Basil is the director on the board who is covering the shipping space for us. The proposition is very straightforward. If you are the ship owner and you have various sources of available capital, typically this industry is seeking capital from banks. It's rare these days, but there are cases, and there are successful cases, whereby shipping companies go public. North American market has been very traditional choice for the ship owners globally, not only European ship owners, but also increasingly Asian ship owners. We had worked with the US equivalent of CPC, which is what we are right now. We are a capital pool company in Canada. We had a US special purpose acquisition company. And we, as a team, last year tried this way in Canada. We like it, and we thought that it would be a good opportunity for you guys too. So why us? Why CPC? What do we have to bring to the business? So if you are considering growing your fleet, if you want to buy more ships, if you want to really increase the scale of your operations, you need capital. You can rely on banks, you can rely on funds. They'll be basically giving you term sheets, but we will raise capital for you through the public market. If you are a ship owner who is considering cash in or cash out, this is also the story that we're willing to work with. We can give you some money for the company, for the development, as well as that we can satisfy the shareholders' need in receiving cash personally, and that's quite a normal story for the vehicle like us. If you are also looking to grow via acquisition of competitors, it's a great story for the market. The exchange, the investors like this story. If you are experienced ship owner who really knows what he's doing, and he wants to increase his presence globally, go to different other markets, go to Asia, go to Latin America. This is a great story to tell to the public investors, and typically companies who have M&A plans going forward receive utmost attention. It's a nice story to tell to the exchange. I'm not going to overburden you with the details, but basically we are a so-called capital pool company formed in Canada, listed at the Canadian Exchange. We're being brokered by and co-sponsored, they're one of our investors, by Canada's largest independent broker, Canaccord, which has itself a very global presence in 15 other countries, 3 offices in London, Frankfurt, and Paris. Once we merge with the operating business, such as a shipping company, we will also have a dual listing in Frankfurt. So that's part of the, this is part of the offering. Now, many people ask about U.S. market. How do we get listed in U.S. market? It's simple. Actually, once we're listed in Canada, once we find the business, there is a simplified way of transforming the Canadian listing into the U.S. listing, which itself takes about 4 to 6 months, but it's very realistic, and there are cases like that. So the U.S. subsequent US listing with us is a possibility. Now, at the moment, the investors are Canadian investing public who are used to investing in this type of vehicles. There are about 12 or 14 vehicles in the Canadian market space at the moment. There's another CPC focused on shipping. And broadly so, every year or two in the US, in North America, there is a new SPAC or CPC focused solely on shipping. I know there was one or two formed last year, so this vehicle typically lasts for 18 months. They have to find the deal within 18 months. So there is one or two US SPACs focused on shipping, and they're in the market looking for the deal right now. I remember when we formed a previous SPAC in the US several years ago, there was this SPAC called Acquisition, and I just remember that they were actively looking for a deal. Now, speaking of our current exchange, which is Toronto, Toronto is really, by numbers, by all sort of numbers, by amount of fundraise, by liquidity, by the size of the exchange, it's number 3 in the world. The exchange, unfortunately so, has been associated with more of a natural resources marketplace. It's not true completely. It's just like if someone would tell you that NASDAQ is all about technology, which is also not true. The exchange is very diversified. All different sorts of sectors are being presented there, and very equally so diversified. So actually, by virtue of statistics, the biggest exchanges in the world right now are the combined Chinese. Then number 2 are the New York exchanges, and then number 3 Toronto. Toronto is bigger than London. Definitely more liquid for sure. The criteria that we are seeking in the candidates are quite common sense. This has to be an operating business with operating history. As we know, many shipping companies, reputable shipping companies, go back in years. There has to be a solid team, solid track record, business plan, model going forward. A lot of the time is spent in preparing investment presentations, business model. We can help with that. We do help, and we do get involved with all of our situations. We spend a lot of time helping them beef up the material. Audit is very important. We have to have financial audit. If the company is on operation for years, then we have to have 2 years of continuous audit. The third year can be presented around the time or during the 6 months after the completion of the merger. So audit is a must. If it's a brand new fleet, a brand new operating story, then it's just one-time audit, and this business can be listed and can merge with us. We're not looking to acquire 100% of the company. We're looking to acquire a minority stake. It's a big difference between us and private equity funds that you will find. We are not really into control. We don't want to tell you how to run your business. All we do is we provide window to the public market. We raise capital for you. We're becoming a true financial sponsor. We are seeking to typically get a minority stake, and the bigger story that we merge with, the better it is for all of us, because we're being compensated only on the basis of the shares that we purchase. So the bigger the story becomes, the more liquid it gets, and so everyone gets more excited. The exchange, the investors get more excited if the company is really doing well and bigger and so on and so forth. So what else? It has to be a growth story. So in any case, the candidate that we're looking at is a growing story. It has to be some sort of solid justification why they're in business, what's going to happen in the next 3 years, how the business is going to grow, how many fleets it's going to grow to, what are the contracts. Has to be a financial model going forward 3 to 5 years. So There has to be really a story to tell to the market that if this business is going live today, what's going to happen to it a year, 2, 3 years from now, and how the investing public can make money. It's often so that the business will pay dividends, so we're hoping that the business will provide for the dividend in the model. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So going back to why would someone consider merging with a vehicle like us, because obviously you would know that there are traditional ways of going public, and companies can spend years in preparation and spend millions of dollars or euros hiring investment banks and paying lawyers and accountants. In our case, it's a shortcut. We already absorbed all this cost. We are public already. For us, it's an M&A transaction. We just find the target, we merge, we take it public. It's a fast, straightforward situation. So why would anyone do it with us? Well, we are truly the capital market platform. We open window for liquidity. We build liquidity together. It's not that liquidity is granted. You have to work on this. You have to really sell your story. It's much easier to sell your story when it's public, because then you can go to the analyst covering the space. You can, once you begin filing quarterly report, there'll be, by definition, attention from the market. You can build your story with the pace, at the pace that you control. In general, promoting public story is much, much easier than when the story is private. So that we know from many previous exercises. Obviously, from a day one, we will have a good institutional support, brokerage coverage, Canaccord included, but also others. And as you know, there are dedicated shipping analysts here and there that you can find that will follow this paper once it goes public. We bring cash at the close. It depends on
discussion.
I'm wrapping up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we bring cash, we raise capital, we organize subsequent round of funding. We can do 2, 3 rounds in a given year, and that's basically another advantage. So we can definitely open capital opportunities. I'll leave it for you to glance at. There is a simpler, cost-effective, cheaper way to go public through a vehicle like us as compared to traditional IPO. And I'm very open to questions, and so will be Basil. Basil is our shipping director. We're based in New York again, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.